Genesis 43. And the famine was sore in the land. And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, Go again, buy us a little food. And Judah spake unto him, saying, The man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. And Israel said, Wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether ye had yet a brother? And they said, The man asked us straitly of our state, and of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words. Could we certainly know that he would say, Bring your brother down? And Judah said unto Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. I will be surety for him. Of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time. And their father Israel said unto them, If it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits of the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm, a little honey, spices, and myrrh, nuts, and almonds. And take double money in your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks, carry it again in your hand. Peradventure it was an oversight. And take also your brother, and arise, go again unto the man. And God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. And the men took that present, and they took double money in their hand and Benjamin, and rose up, and went down to Egypt, and stood before Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of his house, Bring these men home, and slay, and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon. And the man did as Joseph bade, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, Because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time are we brought in, that he may seek occasion against us, and fall upon us, and take us for bondmen and our asses. And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house, and said, O sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the inn, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sack, our money in full weight, and we have brought it again in our hand. And other money have we brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sack. And he said, Peace be unto you, fear not. Your God and the God of your father hath given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money. And he brought Simeon out unto them. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house, and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave them their asses provender. And they made ready the present against Joseph, came at noon, for they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, Is your father well, the old man of whom ye spake? Is he yet alive? And they answered, Thy servant our father is in good health, he is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads, and made obeisance. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, Is this your younger brother, of whom ye spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought where to weep. And he entered into his chamber, and wept there. And he washed his face, and went out, and refrained himself, and said, Set on bread. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians. And they set before him the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And he took and sent messes unto them from before him, But Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs, and they drank and were merry with him. Interesting thing here, they show up. Benjamin's with them. They get spotted. They've taken down a gift that their father has said, a little balm, a little honey. Honey from that area is generally considered superior from any of the honey they got from Egypt. Some nuts, pistachio nuts, usually grow pretty well, I gather, in the area of Syria. And almonds are native to the area, if I remember correctly. And double money, and they took that to make sure that everything was square and everything was paid for. And then Joseph sees it, but since he's got work to do and can't spend the time, he entrusts them to his steward, his chief steward of his house, to take them to his home and tell them that he'll be there to have lunch with them. And he is to get, the chief steward is to get ready. And he says to slay, which means you're going to kill an animal. And that, when you kill an animal in the heat of Egypt, they don't last very long, so you kill them fresh. And the other side of the coin is, it is very high honor for them to actually kill an animal that you get to eat. It doesn't happen often. Usually it would be bread and vegetables of some sort of type of description that you would eat. And Israel has reluctantly let Benjamin go, but he's let him go. And the men go to Joseph's house, and they're afraid that they're going to go to his house because they're afraid that they're going to be trapped there in some way, shape, or form. They're going to try and take advantage of them because they got the money back in the bags. And the man said, don't worry about it. I had your money. This treasure is from your God. Don't worry about it. And he brought Simeon out to them. So all the boys are together again. And Simeon, the indication is that Simeon was perfectly well. And when Joseph came home, they gave him the present and bowed themselves down to the earth again. So this is again in fulfillment of the prophecy. Okay. And when Joseph saw his brother Benjamin and knew that his father was alive, he had to go to a room separate where he could weep. And he wept there. He washed his face, went out. And he said, set on bread. Now, the point is, the Egyptians did not eat with anybody else. The problem they figured, as far as everybody else, was that everybody else was unclean ritually. The cattle and whatnot that grew up in Egypt were sacred. They were not eaten, whereas as far as the people of his father's family were concerned, you could kill and eat them. Didn't make any difference. And so everybody ate separately. Joseph had a table to himself. The servants in his house would have had a separate table to himself. And his brothers would have a separate table to himself. And the thing that was really interesting to the brothers was that they were all arranged in order of their birth. From the eldest of the birthright, which was Reuben, all the way through to Benjamin. And he sent messes unto them. Now these would have been servings of food from his plate. That was an extraordinarily high honor to have your host send food from his plate to your plate. You were sort of expected to eat it all and be very thankful for it. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times as much as any of theirs individually was. And that signaled Benjamin out for great honor. And it says, and they were drank and were merry with him. There no indication there that there was any alcoholic beverage, but just that they were relaxed and they had a good time and they ate well and they enjoyed themselves and all the tension was gone.